Abbey Road, that, I think, don't you?
It's kind of, yes, it has that kind of lovely overtone to it.
In the end and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It has a lightness which I love. Yeah.
The Queen with us this morning, not HRH, but in many eyes, you know, by royal appointment, and that's the miracle. We have Roger Taylor, we have Brian May, celebrating 2,000 years of Queen now. It's just really incredible, isn't it?
It's going up fast.
9 years of We Will Rock You. And these brilliant documentaries that have been made are going to air over the weekend, bank holiday weekend. It's going to be 10 p.m. on Sunday night, BBC Two.
Same on Monday.
Yes, so it's a little sort of double header for you there. And these have been made with love and great affection from two lifelong fans. Tell us about those guys, Brian.
Yeah, Simon Lupton and Rhys Thomas really have been lifelong fans. They're both experts in their field. I mean, Rhys is from The Fast Show and everything you probably know, and Simon's a BBC producer of great note, and we basically let them get on with it. You know, we didn't put our fingers in this really, and when we saw it, we were both pretty moved, weren't we, Ross?
Yeah, this is very touching, and lots of things that we hadn't seen before, which is good.
What's
refreshing.
it like watching a documentary about yourself?
It's not good to see yourself now.
It makes you nervous. There is that. You see us romping around as kids, and then you see what we look like now, and you think, ouch! Maybe we'll just do the vision. And maybe do the sound and not do the vision.
2,000 years is about right.
So 2 1 hours, I mean, you know, it's like writing a book, it's making a documentary. You've got to hold people's interest. So how do these shows do that?
There's an awful lot went on. I mean, as Roger says, you know, you can't believe all that happened, really, in a sense.
Yeah.
No, I think the problem was leaving out stuff. You know, they had such a mountain of material, and it's all great.
They moved through quickly, and they're very sort of quite a comedy. There's quite a bit of comedy in there.
Well, there was lots of laughs in your band, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And they talk about your mad years, or your wild years. That's what's specified here. And the first 5 albums have just been re-released, redigitised and re-released. And it says those are the 5 albums from the wild years, which was the 70s until 1982. Did you put a closure date on your wild years?
I'd say the wild years were in the middle bit, actually.
Yeah, well, I thought that. You
can't go wild on Threepence a week, can you?
No, and also you sort of kicked back, and you had your sort of end of sort of part one, if you like, didn't you, in your musical development?
Yeah.
And then you went away, had to think about things, and came back again.
Yes, and then we learned how to enjoy ourselves.
Who was Brian? Look, you're so funny.
I'm just listening.
You're so considered.
I'm just trying to remember, Chris.
I have an idea about Roger. I have an idea. Obviously, Freddie was the genius he was in many ways, and pushed the boundaries in all aspects of his life, and had all that kind of fun. How wild were you, Brian?
That's a very strange question. I don't think I was very wild, really.
Come on, Roger.
Was I wild, Roger?
What, with your biscuits and your... No, I don't know.
Come with
the
occasional Guinness.
You're doing him a favour here. But the documentary, you know, 2 proper 1-hour films, and Rhys, of course, famously went on Mastermind and scored record points on the specialist subject of Queen.
And I missed it. Yes.
I never saw it.
Oh, he's great. No, he's brilliant.
Have you watched that?
It's on YouTube, I think.
Did you get as many questions as him, right, about you? About your band?
He probably knows more about me than I do. Yeah.
That's
he knows more about all of us. No, he's great. He's Rhys. Amazing. Thank you, Rhys. Thank you, Simon.
You talked about the triumph and the tragedy of this film. You know, lots of tears. Did you shed a tear while you were watching it?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, there are some.
I have to say.
Which bits?
Well, it's obviously bits at the end of the second one. It's very well done, I'd say. It's not maudlin, hopefully, and but it was genuinely moving. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's actually harder. I mean, we're used to the sort of public Freddie the whole time because we live with it day after day, but seeing some of the private Freddie actually moved, you know, which I hadn't really seen for a long time, at least, you know. And
what do you think when you see the private Freddie? What strikes you?
Well, it's like seeing a family member, you know. It's like losing your mum or your dad. You don't really get over it. You just kind of gloss over, don't you? You live your life, but it's always there.
Do you think how lovely he was, how extraordinary he was, how talented he was? What are you thinking when you see him?
All of those,
yeah. And just your mate, your buddy, and someone that you basically grew up with, and we conquered the world in a sense with, you know. It's beyond belief, the stuff that we went through together. So yeah,
these little mannerisms come back. You know, you remember them again. You know, when
they're so easily forgotten, aren't they?
Yeah,
and it is easy, and don't take this the wrong way. It is easy to forget how special someone was. Even if you work with him every day of your lives.
Privately, yes. He's a very shy person, Freddie. I mean, you're reminded of that. You know, he was quite sort of insecure in a sense in a private situation, and towards the end he insulated himself and didn't go out, really, did he?
No, we were very sort of close at the end, so we sort of kept in a little capsule of our own making.
And you just tell me, again, while one of the records was playing, that you didn't know for quite a while what was going on with him. Not only everybody else, but he kept it very much to himself.
That's right, and it goes back a long way. I mean, that's part of the reason I think I love The Miracle so much, because Freddie obviously had that shadow hanging over him even then, and we didn't know, but he knew, and he was able to write something as wonderfully optimistic and beautiful as The Miracle. So that touches me very deeply.
We knew, the things that things weren't perfect with his health, but we didn't. I think we didn't really even want to sort of think about it, really.
Could you spot it coming through his music like Detective? Do you think, hang on, something's going on here?
No, he didn't put it in his music. I don't think so. No, quite the opposite. I think he went into a different area. I mean, there's some amazing songs. Even towards the end, he wrote this lovely stuff in Montreux, looking out over the lake. It's what is that track
Winter's
called?
Tale.
Winter's Tale, which is extraordinarily beautiful and doesn't touch on tragedy in any sense whatsoever.
He was just looking at the view and being overcome by the beauty of the view, which I think was probably, because he was very sick then.
There was a film made about that, wasn't there? I saw that film.
Yes.
A documentary made about
It's a
that.
different documentary,
And you can see what he was looking at.
Yeah.
And why do you think, with the shadow of death hanging over him, he saw this lightness? Why do you think he looked at it that way?
He was a forceful, focused person, and very pragmatic. And I think he wanted to just work and take his mind off the awful reality, I think. So that's why he wanted to work so hard.
And that's all in the film?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see a lot of that. Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to him?
To Freddie? In his house. And he was in bed, looking very, very pale and thin, but... me and Anita went round to see him. It was only days before he went, and of course you don't know, that it's going to be the last time. And we were being quite jolly. I mean, he was being quite jolly, and we were being quite jolly. And he actually did say to us, "Look, you don't have to be that jolly." He said, "You don't have to amuse me. It's just I'm just happy that you're here." And I just remember him looking out into his garden, which he loved, and seeming to be very at peace, I have to say.
What about you, Rog?
I was actually on the way to see him, and they rang me, and I was about 200 yards away, and 300, and they said he's gone, so don't come. The house was surrounded by reporters, and so that was a shock. I just pulled over the side in Kensington High Street, and I remember it sort of hit me then. And it's very weird.
And we were talking to John Cleese last week about Graham Chapman's memorial, and then I was talking about Jim Henson's memorial, which all the Muppets went to, which was brilliant. Did you have fun at Freddie's memorial, or was it a celebration?
Did they go in costume?
To awaken? They did. Did you have fun there?
No, I don't think so. I think the lightest moment was Elton John was in floods of tears. And he turned round, and there was this very odd Zoroastrian ceremony, and he just turned round and said, "I don't know whether to cry or order a curry."
Okay. I didn't have Elton John down as a curry man, so there's a revelation for us. Right, let's get on to your gobsmackers, shall we? By the way, there's documentaries 10 p.m. BBC 2, Sunday and Monday. Don't miss them. They're going to be absolutely amazing for all Queen fans and fans of life in general, I would imagine. The gobsmackers today chosen by Brian and Roger, and they say these are both inspirational tunes for us. One is a great groundbreaking record, and the other sums up 1967 at the crossroads between psychedelia and pop. They picked The Who with My Generation, but first the Beatles with Penny Lane.
Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs of every head he's had the pleasure to know, and all the people guys. Penny Lane.
Hello there. You're listening to the Chris Evans Breakfast Show on BBC Radio 2.
People try to put us to death.
Pretty good gobsmackers. Surprise, surprise. Chosen by Roger Taylor and Brian May from Queen, the Beatles and The Who. Penny Lane, My Generation. Brian, you describe My Generation, or at least I didn't, you agreed, as a sneaky song.
It's cataclysmic, I would say. It still sounds as brilliant as it ever did.
Sounds glorious to me.
Dangerous and wonderful.
But it sneaks in those key changes, doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah, it's going up the whole time. They're changing key between every verse. Amazing.
Okay, so Johnny then asked you, Pete Townsend, a hero of yours.
Total hero of us all.
Yeah, we loved
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
who was so dangerous. It's hard to imagine, you know, in the context. But even now, they sound dangerous on that stuff.
Groundbreaking. Brilliant.
Okay.
Amazing.
So, guitarists, yeah. Townsend, Dave Gilmour, Angus Young / Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck. Which one?
Oh God, you can't ask me to choose.
Yes, I can.
All of the above. Okay, Jeff.
Jeff Beck.
Beck.
Because
Yeah.
that's what everybody says, isn't it?
He's
Jeff-
the master. He's the present master, I would say. Yeah.
Because I know that when Jimmy Page and Robert Plant were getting ready to do that one-off gig at the O2 last year, that nobody could believe was a one-off. Why would you put all that hard work into just the one night? It was incredible.
It was.
Jeff Beck was playing at Ronnie Scott's a couple of nights before.
I was
and
there.
Well, you were there as well. Cause
Yeah,
they
yeah,
went
you were there. Yeah.
Everybody went to see Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
'Cause
Me
he's
and Tony Iommi went down to drool.
Well, how come he's so good?
It's
What does he do that you can't do?
It's indecent,
It's
isn't
in
it?
his
Really?
fingers, I think.
No,
He
he's
doesn't use a
amazing.
pick or anything.
Yeah, he's a kind of. It's inexplicable.
Glenn
It just
Campbell?
comes out of his soul.
He was a good picker, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
fabulous. Yeah.
Okay, top drummers then, Roger. I don't really know many drummers.
Oh, well,
Who's your
I
hero?
suppose Keith Moon. I loved Keith Moon.
Buddy Rich?
Mitch Mitchell. Buddy Rich was fabulous. I love the old swing drummers, you know, Gene Krupa. And John Bonham, obviously. Did I say that?
No, but you did that,
Yeah.
which is
right.
good.
There you go. I
What
think
about
that's-
his son
that's my
Jason?
favourite.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
He's very good.
Knock
Actually,
him out.
my son's very good now.
All right. I love the fact Roger put his hand up then like a little kid. My son's good too.
I've just been working with Roger's
Yeah.
son Rufus. He's amazing,
Yeah.
incredible drummer. You will
Zach
hear more of
Starkey,
him.
is he any good? What about
Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
So-
he's good.
Yeah.
Drummers and Sons? You should form some kind of company.
Yeah, it's in the genes.
All right, Johnny, today's top tenuous, please.
Roger Taylor and Brian May.
Okay, on the text 88291, the most tenuous connections possible, please. That'd be great. And now Lynn has the travel.
Manchester, we've still got the queues on the clockwise M60. This is to leave at Junction 3, the M56. It's because of traffic light problems on the A34. Queues are back to Junction 27, which is Stockport. Problem in Chipping Norton in Oxfordshire, all cleared. That means the A44 is open again. Bigger Birdie and Ali both called in about the M11. There's a breakdown. It's a bus on the Harlow exit at Junction 7, causing queues back onto the M11, particularly if you're travelling south. And it's much better heading into London on the A40. There was an accident which closed the eastbound side after Greenford Road, the A4127. It's been cleared. I say better. The queues are almost back to the M40. 03700 100 200.
All right, thank you so much, Lynn. We're a bit late here. 3 minutes past 9, Greenwich Queen time. Here's Moira.
BBC News.
Simon Bolelli yesterday.
Thank you, Johnny. You've just been talking football to our friend here, Roger Taylor. A big Chelsea fan you've discovered.
Yes.
Okay, can we have your opinions on the future managing of the club, please, Roger?
Blimey, I haven't got a clue.
Come on.
But, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Gus Hiddink comes back. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Come on, what have you heard?
I haven't heard anything.
You know
It's a
everybody.
very good shout. It's a very good shout.
Apparently you hang out with Roman Abramovich all the time.
Not true.
You've learned to speak
Not
Russian,
true.
the whole thing, no?
I'd like him to lend me his rowing boat, though.
His rowing boat.
No,
It's
well,
his
a very
yacht,
big
one of his
He's got
very
about
many
5
yachts.
of them, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The thing is, he orders boats that are so big that when he doesn't want them anymore, no one else can afford to buy them. So he just has to just keep them.
Yeah, it's got one for each ocean.
Other things. All right, where are we going now? I'm going to play this.
Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2.
Happy Friday, everyone. Good morning, Britain. Welcome to another day here on planet Earth.
Under pressure,
Under Pressure, Queen, David Bowie.
pressure.
Let's talk about somebody who's been under pressure with you guys now. By the way, Roger Taylor, Brian May with us from Queen. I'm going to make the most of them. I'm going to squeeze as much as I can out of them before I let them go, because I love them so much. And I've always loved the music. But, you know, when you went on tour, somebody's got to fill in for Freddie last time round. Mr. Paul Rogers stepped up to the plate. How was he?
One of the great vocalists, I think. He's got one of the best voices around. Freddie was always a great fan of his, and and he's his own man. So I thought he did a great job.
He won this huge award last week. He won the Ivor Novello, didn't he? The Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, we sent him a message. Congratulations.
Yeah, I saw him a week ago.
saw him, yeah.
He was so gracious, and his voice is still massive. He's still got it.
He's still got it. He definitely does. Yeah, it was a good collaboration.
Yeah.
And very,
It's all
fruitful.
you never hear a bad note come out of.
No, and Freddie didn't really do falsetto, did he? He just had a massive range. He didn't have to go into falsetto, did he?
He did use his falsetto at certain points. There's little bits where he would go into it, not because he had to, but just because he wanted to. Yeah. But he wasn't heavily dependent on the falsetto. No.
It was more of an effect.
Actually, Paul doesn't do falsetto at all, does he?
Paul doesn't do any falsetto.
Paul is totally full voice. He's
How do
totally
they do
blues
that?
based.
How do they have that range over those different octaves?
No, I think with Paul, it's definitely it was a gift. From when he was a young boy, he was exceptional.
And do you have this theory? Like people say to me, "Oh, you got to see my mate. He's great. He's in a band. He's never going to make it. Help him make it." I always say, "Look, if you're really good, you'll make it." I've never seen anybody who's that good, singing somewhere where in front of 30 people. If you're really brilliant, I mean, you might kill yourself in the process. I'm not saying that won't happen, but you do generally make it if you're any good, don't you?
Yeah. Well, one of Fred's favourite sayings was "talent will out," wasn't it?
I was going to say,
Yeah. Sorry.
No, yeah.
We know each other too well.
Finishing off each sentences. How is the top tenuous, Johnny Saunders?
The top tenuous is very good this morning. There are lots of people claiming to be relatives of, Roger in particular, actually.
All right, well, I have one here that isn't in the top tenuous. It's from a guy who sat behind you, Roger, allegedly at We Will Rock You. Thank heaven he didn't sit behind you, Brian, because he wouldn't have seen a thing. Because you're one of those guys with their hair, if you sit in front of someone, the guy behind's in trouble. Have you ever had the tap on the shoulder?
I usually check it out before I actually sit down because I'm aware of this problem. I go, "You okay?" And I'll swap with people and stuff.
So how tall are you?
6'2.5".
6'2.5", and with the hair, there's another good 4 inches.
About
on
8
top.
foot with the hair.
Yeah, okay, got that. Let's dive into the top tenuous. It's your job to tell us whether these are true or false. Johnny, off you go.
In at number 10, it's Paul. A friend of mine called Kate once went out with a lad from North Wales called Richard Taylor, who claims to be Roger's nephew. I met Richard, but not Roger.
Oh.
True or false?
Have you got a nephew called Richard?
False. Okay.
Number 9, it's Simon. I once bumped into Brian May in Sunningdale, and he gave me half of his Kit Kat.
Yes or no?
Obviously true. Yeah.
Number 8,
guy he is. He shared his Kit Kat.
Number 8, Alison. I worked with Mandy and Michelle at a hairdresser's on work experience in Kings Lynn 24 years ago. Mandy and Michelle claim to be Roger Taylor's cousins.
I'm afraid that's false.
Oh, dear. At 7, it's Brian. My friend Adam Marshall made a copy of Brian May's guitar, and he took it to Brian so that Brian could see it. Brian then played this guitar and said it was fantastic.
Probably true.
At 6, it's Jim. Please say hello to Roger Taylor for me. We were at school in Truro at the same time, and I was the drummer in the other school band at the time. His name's Jim Scott. He's now living in Sheffield, but he's visiting Cornwall in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think that one's true.
Oh, he's got a true one.
5,
there.
it's
That's good.
Graham. Brian May and I were part of a 3-man public speaking team at school. He spoke about school on Monday in a Rotary Club competition. We didn't win. It's Graham in Sidmouth.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Number 4, it's Simon. I met Roger in a BP garage on the A3 10 years ago. He apologised for parking his car too close to my ambulance. What a gentleman.
Yeah, it's probably true.
You're going to go with that because it makes you sound like a nice guy.
At number 3, it's Annie. My mum Jenny shared a study room with Brian while studying astrophysics at Imperial College London in the 70s. However, she rarely saw him because he was always off practising with his new band.
How could that be true?
Jenny?
It's true.
It's true. At
it's
number
true,
2,
okay.
it's Darren. Could you please ask Roger if he still has the black leather office chair that I delivered to his house in 2002? I think he lived just off the A3 at the time.
Yes, almost certainly.
And at number 1, it's Peter. Back in 1995, Brian May accidentally came to my house looking for his mother-in-law's house. She was called Molly. He spoke to my 5-year-old niece, who politely told him that Molly lived around the
Rubbish.
corner. We lived in Beeston in Leeds. Please get Brian to confirm this, as nobody has believed me for years.
Rubbish.
Thanks to Peter in Leeds.
Rubbish?
I don't think so.
He just wanted one that was wrong. Okay. Thank you so much.
You made that up
Saunders.
personally.
Today's top tenuous. Now, boys, before you go, take that out today, embarking upon the biggest UK tour in musical history. They're going to play to 1 3/4 million people tonight.
Amazing.
Not tonight.
Not all tonight.
Yeah, that would be something. They start tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
good luck to them.
That's a big youth
They're
club.
going to be nervous, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I know they've done it before.
No, they've done it before, but this is
they have the strength of being a
first
band, though.
time.
It's great being a band, isn't it, Rog?
Yeah.
You do have a great strength because you rely on each other and you have confidence in each other. And they are, you know, a band that's really stuck together by some...
Well,
and
good luck
Robbie's
to them.
back,
Good
bless
luck
him.
to them.
Yeah, Robbie's back. And the most nervous you guys were on stage?
Ooh. Do you know, Live Aid was very nerve-wracking.
Was it?
Because it was just on there with no sound check and no
But
lights.
Was the weight more nerve-wracking than the performance? Because once you're off, you're there, aren't you?
Yeah, it was
Once you're
just
on your own,
side of the stage thing.
Yeah, that was nervous. I think the roof of the palace has got to be my
I
all-time.
know, that was brilliant. That was Live 8, wasn't it?
You don't get more scared than that.
Yeah, you played guitar live
I remember.
on the roof of Buckingham Palace.
The 50th, well, the golden anniversary of the Queen's, whatever, the Queen's
Golden Jubilee.
party. Golden Jubilee, yeah.
Golden Jubilee, all right. So how, you know, what, did you meet her? Did you approve of what you did on
I
top
didn't
of
meet her on the
house?
day. I've met her on other days. No, I met her sometime later, actually, because I got the CBE and everything, and we chatted about it then, you know.
All right, just before you go, what's the view like from Buckingham Palace roof? Because not many people get to see
It was
that.
very good at that point, because as far as you could see were people. It was incredible. It was an amazing day, and I was up there just looking down on it all. Amazing, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I know you got a big day today
It's
for
been,
reasons we won't talk about, but thanks so much for being here.
It's been great.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Roger Taylor, Brian May from Queen. We Will Rock You, still going strong. The Boys still going strong. Documentaries about Queen. BBC 2, 10 p.m. Sunday, 10 p.m. Monday. Don't miss those. 9:20 now, Radio 2.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we
So, Brian May, Roger Taylor scoring 7 out of 10 on the top 10 years. 7 true out of 10, 3 false, according to those guys. They should know because they're them. They're actually those, they are the people, you know. 9:21.